Alrighty, so the last concept we're going to go over here is linear equations. Quite a few different things you need to understand with linear equations, but all of this really should be hopefully reviewed for you, so it should be fairly easy. Alright, so first off, this one's just asking for slope. Alright, so slope is rise over run. The equation for slope, this is definitely something you want to have memorized, is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. All right, so x1, y1, x2, y2. So we would do negative 3 minus negative 7 all over negative 18 minus negative 12. So let's see, we get negative 3 plus 7, we get 4. And we get, what is this? Negative 8, right? Now notice they want it in simplest form. So just reduce the fraction. We end up, with negative 1/2. All right. So then you also should be able to calculate the, let's see, they want equation of the line, slope-intercept form. Okay, so slope-intercept form of a line. That is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. Okay, so here, first off, one thing I want to point out is you should be able to look at a line and be able to tell if it is a positive or a negative slope, right? You just kind of imagine a little man walking from left to right. He's going down. It is a negative slope. All right, so we know our slope here is going to be negative. Another way you can think of slope is rise over run. So you could go ahead and find the coordinates here and use like the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Or you could think of rise over run. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we went up 5. And we went over 3. And we know that it's negative. All right. So that's our slope. And then our y-intercept here is 2. We can see that just from looking at the graph there. So our equation would be y equals negative 5/3 x plus 2. Alrighty. Now, this next one is asking, what is the equation of the line that passes through these points? So this is a little bit more challenging. First, we got to go ahead and calculate our slope. All right. So we'll do 1 minus negative 2 all over negative 6 minus negative 4. We get 3 over negative 2. So that's our m value, our slope. Now, for the b value, they did not blatantly give us the y-intercept here. So there's a couple of different ways we can go about this. Honestly, what I recommend doing is we're going to use y equals mx plus b. And we're going to plug in for m, because we know what m is. And then we're just going to pick one of these points and plug in for x and y. And then we can solve for b from there. All right. So let's see. We've got, we'll use negative 2 for our y. And our slope is negative 3 over 2. We're going to multiply that by our x, which is negative 4. Again, I just picked this point here. That's what I'm using for x and y. So we end up with, let's see, we would get negative 2 equals positive 2 plus b. Something is not right. What did I do wrong here? Oh, because it would be, sorry. When you multiply these, it would be, because you get negative 2 times negative 3, which would give us a positive 6. Sorry about that. So then we subtract 6 from both sides, and we get that b is equal to negative 8. So now we know what our b value is. So we can go plug in negative 3/2 x minus 8. All right, next one. Here they want us to put this into slope-intercept form, which again is y equals mx plus b. This guy is in what we call standard form. Ooh. All right, and they want us to get that into slope-intercept form, okay? So we're going to go ahead and work on getting essentially the y by itself, because that's what we got to do here. So we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. And then we're going to just divide both sides by negative 12. So negative 2 divided by negative 12 is going to be positive 1/6. So 1/6 x. You also could write that as like x over 6. And then 84 divided by negative 12 is going to give us a negative 7. All right. So we end up with y equals 1/6 x minus 7. All right. And then this one is find the equation of the linear function represented by the table below in slope-intercept form. So we're going to go ahead and find our m value, our slope. And in this case, they actually did give us the y-intercept. Your y-intercept is always 0, comma something, right? And in this case, our y-intercept here is negative 2. Now, they're not always going to give us that, and when that happens, we have to do what we did up here, where we solve for b, okay? But in this case, we can just go ahead, we'll calculate our slope. So we'll do 7 minus negative 2 all over 1 minus 0. We get 9 over 1, which is 9. So our m value is 9. Our b value is negative 2, so we would just say y equals 9x minus 2. All right. Let's go ahead. We'll try this guy out here. Same thing. However, they did not give us our y-intercept here. So what we're going to have to do is solve for b, like we did previously. So we'll do negative 7 minus negative 6 all over 2 minus 1. So this gives us what? Negative 1. So we've got that our slope is negative 1. Then we'll pick a point to plug in. We'll use this for our x and our y. So we'll say negative 6 equals negative 1 times 1 plus b. We get negative 6. Oops. Negative 1 plus b. We're going to add 1 to both sides. So we get that b is negative 5. So y is equal to, and then our slope is negative 1. So generally we don't write negative 1x, right? We would just put negative x. And then our b value is negative 5. So that would be our equation there. All right, so the next couple are same thing there. All right, so here, so this one they're asking us to find the x-intercept of each line, okay? Now, the x-intercept occurs when your y value is 0, okay? So when you're given the equation just like this, what you can do is you're just going to go plug in a 0 for y, and then solve for x, all right? So we've got 0 equals, and then we've got negative 5. 6x minus 5. We add 5 to both sides. And then we can multiply by the reciprocal here. And we get negative, let's see, negative 6. All right. So for line A, the x-intercept is negative 6. Now for line B, here they just gave us a table, right? And like I said, your x-intercept occurs when your y value is 0. Well, we've got a y value of 0 when x is negative 1 here. All right, so our x-intercept for line A is negative 6. Our x-intercept for line B is negative 1. Let's see, therefore the x-intercept of line A is less than the x-intercept for line B. All right. So number 10 is going to be very similar. The only difference is we know that the y-intercept, as previously mentioned, occurs when the x value is 0. So you would do it the exact same way, except you're going to plug 0 in for x. All right. Let's see. This guy here, it says find the slope of each line. All right. So for this one here, this is not in y equals mx plus b. This is in standard form. So in order to find the slope of this guy, we got to get it in y equals mx plus b. So we're just going to go ahead and solve for that. We're going to subtract 6x from both sides. So we've got negative 5y equals negative 6x plus 30. We divide by negative 5. And we get that y is going to be equal to 6/5 x. And minus 6. There we go. So the y-intercept of line A is negative 6, right? However, they're asking for the slope, which is going to be 6/5. All right. And then the slope here for line B, we're going to do slope formula, right? Negative 3 minus 0, all over negative 2 minus negative 4. So we get negative 3 all over 2. So the slope of line A is greater than. All right. Let's see. So which of the following equations represents a line that passes through these points? Okay. So what we have to do here is find the slope, right? And figure out, you know what, actually, I'll just cut this out.